Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this particular session where we look at managing costs under the P2 syllabus of management case study. Right. Remember that this is actually an applied session where we applied this to Happywell holidays. Okay. So when looking at the management of costs, we need to think of the topics that are according to the blueprint. We look at the P2 syllabus, right? So if you have the blueprints, please do open your blueprint, of which I have shared the blueprint with everyone. Please look at the blueprint and go to P2. I just want to clarify something here. Managing costs of creating value, right? This is where you need to understand topics like activity-based management, right? Which is the application of activity-based costing in decision-making, right? So what are the components of ABM, right? This is where you need to understand your customer value analysis, right? Which customer is more valuable than the other, looking at their costs and what you charge them, right? This is where you need to think of your cost transformation techniques, right? This is where you need to think of your quality management methodologies, like your just-in-time, management of costs, Kaizen, business process re-engineering, right? Value analysis, right? Or value engineering, all right? So this is also somehow related to our previous session where we were looking at value creation, right? Because in trying to create value, you also want to minimize on the costs, right? So we shall look at certain statements from the case study, which probably gives an emphasis on issues around costs, right? Remember, we are in the package holiday space, right? And one thing that you must understand is that you were told that package holidays usually comprise 3 core elements, and each of these elements is a cost. So in order to create value through costs, you need to somehow try to minimize these costs, which is why we offer package holidays, right? Now, one must think, if a package usually covers flights, accommodation, and transfers, can we not include activities within this package? Can we not include meals? Can we not include many other items which people actually require on a holiday? What type of a holiday is it? And what are the activities that these people want, right? So that we can perhaps package it minimize costs on each of those elements, and price better. As we have been told that package holidays can be booked online. Oh, sorry, that's not the statement I want, right? It is possible to book a holiday by buying the separate elements of travel and accommodation separately, but package holidays are usually more convenient. Customers can choose from packages that suit their dates. But now, there's also an issue that if you are buying a package, usually packages have got this rigidity that they come with, right? Is there a way a customer can actually make their own package on the list of flights, accommodation, transfers, activities, etc., that are there, right? In such a way that a customer chooses they choose on their own, but still create a package that we can offer to improve on our business model and add value, but also considering the costs. What would be the implication on our costs? And does this, in a way, perhaps compromise on the quality of service that we provide? Package holidays can be cheaper than the total cost of making separate bookings. Tour operators may own and operate their own aircraft, which we do, and hotels, which we do. Or they may make block bookings on flights and hotel rooms from third-party airlines and hotel chains. So what could help us improve? Because if you look at this issue that we do have close competition from Manguse, we also have got Drum Travel, which is close, right? There's online holidays here, independent tour operators. How can we perhaps leverage on our 25% market share and increase our market share through maybe acquiring these other independent tour operators or online holidays through the reduction of our costs, right? Here, you are being told that dynamic package holidays may offer greater flexibility than package holidays because they offer greater choice of destination and flight time. Is there no way that we can offer that flexibility, right? Perhaps let's acquire some smaller flights, some smaller planes, right? That would give us a flexibility and give perhaps private planes which can fly 15 people, 10 people, 8 people, right? Make it more expensive to some people, to those who can afford, right? And that would be more of a niche. Right. Then can we include sightseeing and cultural events in the packages? All right. Any thoughts, any questions?
I have no question. I think I'm happy with value creation.
Okay. And you understand the issue of costs that we are talking about here. So, what are the activities? Because one of the things that are important when you're considering costs, in as much as this topic is concerned, is understanding the activities that this organization is involved in, right? And those activities are mentioned here. Right? Booking, car hire, travel insurance, right? Parking of the departure airport, leisure facilities. All these are activities which incur costs, right? Aircraft booking, hotel preparation, transfers, providing customer feedback. All these are activities. So, what ABM tries to do now, right, is to use the knowledge of the activities and subdivides these activities into core activities and non-core activities. You try to eliminate the activities that are not necessary or somehow reduce the time spent on these activities so as to reduce costs. Now, this is where automation comes into play, which is why if you go to McDonald's, for instance, you can choose your meal, right? And you can actually tailor your meal to become not generic, right? You can specify the items that you want on your meal. So we could introduce the same, right? And we could actually maybe use mobile technologies. We could also use mobile technologies to make sure that each person can actually book using their phones and get their itinerary from the phone, which is detailed, and the activities, they can actually choose and pay for the activities beforehand, right? And in doing so, when people go for holidays, they may have a hard time because they do not know the place, right? They may have a hard time to plan, right? But you could actually give them a map beforehand, a digital map, all right? And show them where all activities, for instance, let me give you an example that you may all know, right? Let's say it's Cape Town with activities that are there in Cape Town, right? If you get the entire digital map and where all the activities are located with suggestions of how you can um, maneuver yourself around Cape Town and all its activities, you can actually save time. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, you are making sense. Sorry, I was just listening. You are.
All right. Because if you can do that, then you can actually eliminate the competition that you have, because no one else is doing that. You're just giving what is basic: aircraft, hotels, and transfers. Then you give feedback. This is so basic, so generic. But how do we improve the customer experience? In other words, it seems as if we are just dumping our clientele at a destination. Go see for yourself, right? We'll just give you um, the the flight, accommodation, and we take you to where you want to go. But I do not have knowledge, so you can actually preempt the information of where they are going, right?
Yeah.
And this may actually help us to reduce costs and price better. And we are giving that convenience. And sometimes, if you would see that now when we look at P2, it can actually help you with pricing. You can call that premium pricing now,
Mm.
right? And you can provide your clientele with what they need prior to them reaching the destination. Because for some holidays, you'll find out that you did not carry one, two, three things that you probably might need, because you actually did not have the knowledge, and neither did you have the experience of what you're going to experience when you reach your destination. Then you end up spending uh, what or what you did not anticipate to spend.
Hmm.
Right? So what they could actually do is, when somebody books for a holiday package, right? If you're going to Thailand, for instance, let them explain, or you can digitize that. If a person says they're going to Thailand, why not use the digital technologies? Why not use technologies, modern technologies, and have a digital uh, asset, more like a video, which explains where they are going? You can actually do it in the plane, or
Yeah.
immediately when somebody books. And sometimes you could actually recommend maybe a video prior to booking, so that the people can actually decide on which destination they prefer,
Mm.
right? But nobody is doing this in this particular industry as we speak. So think about um, our own local holiday companies, where we
Mm.
go and book. They don't offer what we are talking about now.
They don't.
But what if they did? That would be an improvement. So you're looking at costs, but again, we cannot look at costs in isolation without talking about value creation and improving an entity's business model.
Okay.
Any thoughts?
So technically, when you look at,
Yes.
no, I was adding on you saying that technically when you look at the managing the cost, it needs to be aligned with your business model, because you already have a business model in place. So you don't want to go outside what you've already started.
Yes, definitely. If you can diversify, if it's a need, then yes. All right. Now here, look at aviation, right? These are activities. So you need to be able to assess if there is any of these activities that can actually be automated. All right. Check-in staff are responsible for checking in passengers' luggage and for issuing boarding passes. But is this really still necessary? I know we still do it here in South Africa, but is it still necessary? Because you can do online check-in. Why not automate that? We are cutting costs. All right. Here, there's use of robots that you can use for baggage handling. Here you can use machines to check. Let me annotate here. Please don't allow me to speak too much. But here, get staff, check that all departing passengers have valid boarding passes. You can put machines. A machine can only open and for one person if they have a boarding pass. And it can detect that a boarding pass is used only once. So you see that you can actually make use of technologies. So you need to look at this line by line by line and try and see where you can cut costs, maybe through the use of technology, or get rid of that activity if it's not necessary. Here, engineers conduct technical checks and carry out repairs both immediately prior to departure and overnight after flight operations have ceased for the day. We can just use a diagnostic machine to do all the technical checks. The repairs, yes, you can still use humans to do that. But where you can automate, why not automate? Make the process better. Dispatchers deal with administrative and safety issues, such as checking passengers' numbers before departure and checking that all necessary clearances have been obtained. That you can leave humans to do that work or that function. Happywell uses third-party service companies to fulfill the above roles at arrival airports. So we can now automate and eliminate the third party because service companies are charging us, right? They'll be charging us to deal with return flights, bringing customers home at the end of their holidays. The aviation department is responsible for selecting and working with those companies. So we can actually leave the aviation department to do that through automation. We don't need these service providers. Thereby, we have increased our assets and we've increased on capital expenditure and reduced on operating expenditure, which means our assets will increase from a reporting point of view, right? Our assets increase, right? And our expenses decrease. I don't know if I'm making sense. Am I talking to someone?
Yes, you're listening.
What are your thoughts? So this particular part here helps you to understand the costs. Happywell owns its own hotels. The hotels department is responsible for all aspects of the running of Happywell holidays. That includes accommodation, meals, and the maintenance of the buildings and their grounds. It is a cost center because that's now going to division of performance and all that, right? Which we can speak of later on. But all this here helps you understand the costing part, right? And the improvement of the value creation. Here on the operations, also try and think where you can apply just in time or total quality management. All right. We spoke about the here we have issues with costs. As mentioned earlier on, you see that our revenue is greater than that of Manguse, right? But our profits are reducing. So I remember what I said earlier on, that automating will help us increase our assets and reduce our costs, which means our profits will be high. And that's what we need. Because as we speak, our profitability leaves a lot to be desired compared to Manguse. Manguse's profits are increasing, whilst our profits are decreasing. The seat pitch, it helps us to carry more passengers, but those who require much space, maybe they need to use a private plane, then we charge them more. It's now a pricing issue. Tailored package holidays. Tailored package holidays are becoming increasingly popular. They offer their customers a flexibility to design their own holidays rather than simply choosing between the packages that are on offer from the traditional package tour operators. This is what we were talking about earlier on. I conducted an informal consumer test by logging onto Dreamski's website and planning a holiday. I input a departure date, specify a luxury beach holiday, and the maximum price that I was willing to pay. I quickly received an email that there were no packages available in my price range. I tried again removing the upper limit on price and was soon offered a package that would cost 4 times as much as. This is now what we call premium pricing. Because you are designing your own, and it has something to do with the costs as well. The costs will be higher, but remember, we can offer more, which we have discussed earlier on. Any thoughts, any questions? Even insurance as part of the package. Let's offer our own insurance and cut maybe third-party insurance providers, right? Then, do we have our own lounge services? We can offer our own lounge services. That's something that we can consider. Any thoughts, guys? I don't know why you let me talk on my own in these sessions.
Well, we learning. I guess we enjoying the whole thing, or rather learning and taking notes.
Okay. So is that a promise that the time we'll be doing the mock exams, I won't be doing much of the talking?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I'll take you at your word then. All right. So if there are no other questions, thoughts, we can as well call it a day today. Thank you, guys.
I just have a quick question regarding those who wrote. Have you interacted with them?
Yes, I have. They said there were no surprises, but the results aren't out as yet. But
Okay.
I believe our August would be better, which is why I think August and February are the best sittings, because when we start our classes, we already have the pre-seen material.
Okay. Do they after writing do we have a picture of how the exam paper looks like?
No, no, no. SEMA does not publish until after August.
Oh, nobody knows how it looks in. How did it look in February? In now May, they don't
Well,
publish it.
look, it's easy to forget, even for those who.
Oh, okay.
It's easy to forget because remember, it's just 3 hours, and even when you get the 4 questions, the first one, once the 45 minutes is over, it kicks you out. You go to the next one.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. That's the question.
All right then. Okay. Thank you, guys. I'll see you on Tuesday, right?
I think it's Tuesday. I don't have it by head, but I think it's Tuesday. Yeah.
All right then. Okay. Enjoy your evening and the weekend.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
All right then. Okay. Bye.